I need to do it one day. I need to know.
Well, hey, Lisa, let's talk about irreconcilable differences.
Wow. Hello, Sharon. That sounds like a great topic. I'm ready.
Okay, so hey, everybody, you have dropped in on Coast to Coast Beauty. I'm Sharon Davis on the West Coast.
And I am Lisa Washington on the East Coast. Welcome.
So together we are Coast
to Coast
Beauty. And
yes.
Thank you for being here. Yes, indeed. So irreconcilable differences, Lisa, this is a topic they've been asking us to tackle for a while.
And we have been avoiding it for a while. Wonder why?
Well, you know, it got on my conscience because I was driving out of a driveway, and this sign, let me put it so you can everybody can read it. It was staring at me, and I'm like, wait a minute. Uncontested divorces? What does that mean? If you're not, I don't have anything to contest, why are you getting divorced?
Yeah, that is the question. Why are you getting a divorce if there's nothing to contest? That you know what? Maybe no one wants to admit that there's something to contest.
Ooh. Wow. Hey, Troy. Troy is a young man that grew up with my kids. Oh my goodness. He's just family. And I just, there's some people that when you just hear their voice or see their face, they just make you smile. That's Troy. And then of course my grandmother. Hello, Grandma. She's been really sickly. So
oh, I'm so sorry.
So back to work. I'm sorry.
Get better soon.
We're working on that hard. Yeah, she'll be 99 next month.
Wow.
My goodness. So anyway, irreconcilable differences. Now, I have to admit, this is my second and last marriage. So, but I don't believe in not sticking it out. I really don't. I'm of the school of you do what it takes to work it out. I mean, when you make that commitment of lifetime, it's just that. And somebody's here that I don't recognize.
Okay. Hopefully they'll speak up soon.
Okay, I know. Oh, it's the other eye doctor. There's two eye doctors in the house, Troy and I believe Raymond. So a quick little plug for them. If you need your iPhone fixed, iTablet, that's the men you need to see.
Oh, okay. When you said eye doctor, I thought vision. But you iPhone.
And then phone, yeah.
Okay.
Right. They do great work, I'm telling you.
Unfortunately, they're not in Georgia.
They're not in Georgia, but maybe they'll be nationwide soon.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think they might take like shipments to fix it. It depends on, you have to cost it out on what's going to be the difference. But anyway, back to irreconcilable. Say the word, Lisa.
Irreconcilable.
Thank you.
Irreconcilable differences.
So tell me, do you and Kenneth have irreconcilable differences?
Well, first of all, I will say that, like you, this is a second marriage, my second and last marriage. And so, yes, the first marriage ended for irreconcilable differences. But I too the belief that marriage is forever and that you stick it out and you work it out. But there are situations where that is not going to be possible. That's just the reality of it. I am so thankful that we don't have any of those situations in my marriage with Kenneth. We can reconcile anything. We can reconcile any differences. Let's put it that way. So, but I do believe that there are some situations where someone or a marriage would.
have to ground him now. That's
Uh-oh.
it.
Yes. I had to figure out what he was talking about. What? Hi, Stacy.
I need to hide him and put Stacy up with some positive word.
Yes.
Well, I have to admit it. Yeah, Eric and I have irreconcilable differences. I mean, I don't think that anybody doesn't have irreconcilable differences, but you have to at some point decide, is that worth my marriage? I mean, do the good parts outweigh the bad? I mean, of course, if you're in an abusive situation, that's different. If your safety is involved, then that's not, grounds for any kind of negotiation. But there are things that you can decide to disagree on. You agree to disagree, as it said.
I think Stacy said hello to you.
I popped her up. Oh, hi, hello, Stacy. Our faithful viewer.
Yes. She's dealing with some healthy issues, and she's still here. Thank you. That's loyalty. Yeah. Okay, so let's talk. Let me just say that for the sake of being on the same page, if you were to look up irreconcilable differences in the dictionary, you will see that more often than not, it applies to marriage and the dissolution of marriage or dissolving a marriage. And so, generally at one time, you had to have a really good reason for dissolving marriage, because you said to death do us part. And whoever said murder, shut up. You can't speak right now. It did say, to one of you murder each other. It didn't say that. But the thought was that you stayed together even when things got rough, even if there were problems, you stayed together and you worked it out. And then, but there began to be avenues where, if need be, you could get out of the marriage. And even in the legal forum, and I'm by no means offering legal advice here, but okay, there are serious infractions that warrant a divorce. Infidelity, violence, extreme mental or emotional abuse. All of those things put the other partner at risk. And so those are legitimate grounds for dissolving a marriage. But sometimes people want to go their separate ways, and there are none of those extremes. And so the law in all its glory came up with no contest or no fault or irreconcilable differences as a way for a party to say, I'm not going to admit I'm at fault. You don't have to admit you're at fault, but we are still going to dissolve this thing. We're still going to go our separate ways. And so that's what we're talking about here. Those things that are not putting your health at risk or your life at risk, but and I even looked it up. It says you both agree that there's no hope of working the saving that relationship. Both of you agree that there's no hope of saving that relationship. And then that's where you can use the moniker irreconcilable differences as your reason for divorcing or ending the relationship. Now that we've got that history lesson over, let's talk about it.
Yeah, Troy's grounded. I told you the story about him and my son and the grounding and how they got around it. That's a whole nother story.
It would be hard to ground him here because he probably has the ability to, even if you blocked him, he probably has the ability to get around that block and come on and say whatever he wants to say anyway, right?
But he is talented that way, but I would never block him because, as I said, he's just one of those people that makes me smile.
Okay, but he's right.
It is hard. Marriage is not easy.
It's not easy.
It's not. I mean, there are some days when Mr. Davis comes in the door and I'm like, him again. And there's other days when, just the sound of his truck pulling up is like, oh, it's him. But, you pick your battles.
You have to, because you can win the battle and lose the war.
Oh, yeah.
Many times you can win the battle and lose the war. You know what? I would like to share. I know that going to wedding showers and bridal showers, it has been the tradition at the ones that I've been to that sometimes the older married couples will get together and offer the new couple some advice. And I recall at one wedding shower, everybody was standing up to give the young lady some advice on marriage. And they had the cutest little sayings there. And then some of them are biblical, a threefold cord is not easily torn. And keep God in your marriage and so on and so forth. And everybody was giving that cute advice. So when it got to me, I said, my advice was, I said, you know what? You are in love and that's great. That's the reason why people get married. They're in love. But if you stay married long enough, there is going to come a time where it's going to be difficult. I said, so if you know that, then you can make plans for it now. Make up your mind right now that when that time comes, you're going to just tie yourself down like you've been pretending you're in a hurricane. And what do? You take some rope and you tie yourself to the strongest structure you can find and you ride it out. And I said, so be prepared to tie yourselves down and ride it out. And just like, a hurricane, you will get to the eye, meaning, and then you'll go through something else, but you'll come out at the other side and you'll both be still together and still strong. And I remember when I gave that advice, that some of the other ladies looked at me like, whoa, you went way too deep with that. But fast forward about 15, 20 years later, I had the occasion to meet this young lady at someone else's wedding anniversary. They were celebrating 20 years of being married. And you know what she said to me? That advice, I remember. That advice was the best. That advice helped me. That advice, thank you so much, because the storms did come. And I remembered you saying the storms are going to come. There's going to be the calm in the middle, like the eye wall. Then there's going to be more storms. But if you tie yourself down, you will make it. And she actually thanked me for that. So irreconcilable differences are become much more common and much more evasive and much more used than I believe they used to be. And some of the reason is because no one has made a determination at the beginning that we are going to ride out the storm. Okay. All right.
And I remember being at a wedding and a couple was saying that their longevity is based on that. Oh, I'm echoing. Oh, because somebody's calling me.
Just
Stop it. Their longevity of their marriage was based on the fact that they did not fall out of love with each other at the same time.
Good one.
Yeah, very, very deep, very deep. But again, you are going to there are still in the most perfect marriage going to be things that you guys are just not going to agree with. My, the mother, so to speak, of my church, she says this, is that her husband's a lot like mine, and he's a complainer. He wants everything the way he wants it, period, and you're not going to talk him out of it. And she said that she would just let him grumble, let him say what he had to say, and she just listen. And then she said she would go and pray and tell God, I'm right, so you just have to go tell him.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
I learned a lot from that. Is that because that was very hard for me in the beginning, because I'm more of, if you have a problem with something, you go fix it. You don't just grumble about it. but he enjoys the grumbling. I mean, he truly does. It's just, he does. So I decided to learn to just let him grumble and just figured God will let him know I'm right. And usually he does.
Oh my God. Okay. I haven't tried that one. I have to marinate on that one for a minute. Well, one of the things that I do believe helps, though, is, and I learned this from a class, from a psych class. Okay, I was really interested in psychology at one time. So I learned from a psych class that you make rules for engagement. Remember, in war they say rules of engagement and rules of war. Well, in a relationship, you have rules for engagement or rules for fighting. And, they can do something.
I call them fair fighting.
Fair fighting. Okay. Which was hard for me because my dad used to tell me there's no such thing as a fair fight. You fight to win. He was like, no, when you go to war, you go to win. There's no such thing as fighting fair. He always drilled that into my head. It was one of the few lessons I actually got from my dad. And so it was really difficult for me to learn the concept of fighting fair. As a matter of fact, when my mom met my husband, Kenneth, she warned him. She was like, oh, my goodness, you seem like a nice young man, but I'm going to tell you something. If you ever make her mad, don't go to sleep. When I open, she will get you back. She's very, she's not going to let it go. And she just laid it on the line for him. He didn't believe it though.
Oh, and he still married you, huh?
I'm so sweet. But thankfully, early on, I did learn the concept of fighting fair. No name calling. Don't say something you can't take back. Because saying it and then saying later, I didn't mean it, doesn't work. Doesn't work. I'm just going to tell you, if you say it, and even if you come back later, especially in a fight, now you can be just having a conversation and say something and think, oh my goodness, that didn't come out right. I do it all the time. But when you're in an argument or, you can't say that stuff and then say later, oh, I didn't mean it. No, you meant it. Okay. So, those kind of things. And, you can look up articles. There are articles. Information is free. We live in the greatest age ever. All the information is free, and all you got to do is Google anything you want to know, and you can find some rules. You can sit down as a couple and you can go over those rules together, and you can agree to whichever ones fit your relationship, because not all of them will. And you can add some or you can take some away, and you can decide when you're not in an argument, how you're going to handle it when you are in an argument.
And that's the key, is that you have to discuss these things up front. What is off limits for me? Now, for me, clearly being, called out of my name in anger is off limits. I'm no longer going to discuss anything with you, period. But in my practice, most of the time, my clients were there because there was already violence in the home. And so I would take approach of presenting in a kind of flippant, funny way, all the things that you do that's not fair. So, win at all costs. If you're losing, go ahead and hit below the belt. And I would make the guys put on top of that, before they took that page home, that this was the first part to fair fighting. All of this is what I'm not supposed to do, because I had some women call me and say, you're teaching him to do this. And like, no, I'm showing him what he's done in the past and what he's no longer going to do. And then give them the ground rules. And as you said, each couple has different boundaries. The biggest mistake that we make in marriage when there's a disagreement is, and always, these two people are married to each other, are in a relationship together. The one who needs to talk about it right now and get it over with is always married to the one who needs a week, a month, a year
to get
before they can down. Right. They're always in the relationship with each other. So that compromise thing has to come into place, because no, I'm not going to I have to talk about it right now when you're at this place. But maybe we can't take a month. Maybe we can take 3 days. So you have 3 days, and I know I've got to just deal with this for 3 days till we can come together and sit down face to face and talk about it.
Yeah.
Not standing up over each other, not in a high voice. Actually, I used to tell them, sit, hold hands, look at each other, and just be just above a whisper so they can hear you, but nobody else needs to hear it. You are right there. And it takes that fear away of being able to be real and be comfortable. And
I remember having a girlfriend who I suggested she, look up the information and go over it with her partner. And she said, "Oh, but I can't get a word in edgewise. It's just, he's loud. He overtalks me. So I said, well, maybe you should try to have that conversation, go out into a public place, to a coffee shop, to a restaurant where it is inappropriate to get loud and overtalk each other." I said, "Do you think he would do it there?" She said, "No, he wouldn't show out in public, I don't think." I said, "Well, maybe you should talk in that environment." It's just a suggestion. And so, but don't bum rush him. Say, "Let's go to the coffee shop and talk." Don't say, "Baby, let's go for coffee." And then when he get there, he's thinking he's about to get a caramel macchiato and buy you one and get him a cup of coffee. And you're just bum rush the joke, the dude. Don't do it. Please don't do that. But yeah, so, I believe that that if you want to find a solution for a lot of things, they're there. They're absolutely there for you to find if you look for, if it's important enough. If it's important enough, you look, and almost anything you want, you can find it. The solutions are there. Like, I'm not talking about violence. I'm not talking about infidelity. I'm not talking about the big rocks. Those things right there, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about when two people who were raised in two different environments, who came into the relationship with two totally different set of personalities. Yeah, me like clear explanation. I'm talking about those things. It's not the big rocks that dissolves a lot of relationships. It's the little stuff where you get on each other's nerves, like the fact that he chew on his straw. It makes you gnash your teeth. Stuff like that. So yes. And what Stacey said about men need clear explanations. I wouldn't just say men. There are women who need clear explanations. The point of it is that you try to get to know who your partner is, what makes them tick, how do they like to be dealt with, like The Language of Love. That book? I could go pick it up right now. I think it's right here. The Languages of Love, the love languages. The love languages. You understand how the person likes to be treated, because it's in our nature to try to give to the other person that which we value the most. Might not be what they value the most.
Right. And I'm going to say something that might be a little controversial.
Okay. Go ahead.
I don't think that infidelity always has to end a relationship. I mean, habitual, if this is your lifestyle, you got to go. But if I think that we don't learn how to be married, and so many of us grow up in either dysfunctional marriages as a witness to, or we don't have any kind of reference for a relationship, and being young and dumb and not knowing how to navigate relationships and so forth can make some mistakes. But again, it's if it's a habitual thing, that's not something you can work on. And you both have to be willing to work on that, as well as be able to forgive it. Now, let me just say this. Forgiving is one thing. Forgetting is another. So you have to assess whether you can do both. Because if you can't, it's going to come up every time they drink the last of the milk.
You already in hot water because you remember what you did back in 1999.
And I mean, yeah, I'll give it to the men on this one. We women are good at holding stuff. We're clean to elephants in that respect. We remember long.
Yes, but we remember the good stuff long too.
That's true.
We'll hold on to a relationship because that was really good to me back in 1999. Yes, it's true. It's true. You know what? For me, coming into my marriage, somebody asked me, I've been married a long time. This second time around, I have a great marriage. It's obvious. And I've had some girlfriends that say, how did you do it? What happened? How did you end up with the good one? And and I said, I don't know. I said, yeah, he is a good one, but I think you get the one and then you work with it. You get the one. The heart wants what the heart wants. So you get the one that your heart wants and you decide if the rest of the stuff that comes with it is workable. And so I'm a big communicator. From the beginning, I said, look, the last marriage dissolved because of physical violence and infidelity. I won't tolerate that again. So I said, I don't think I have it in me to tolerate that again. I might get 20 years down the road and decide that I can, but right now, standing right here, right now, I don't believe I can tolerate that again. So very clear. But I also was very clear on, I had a partner who I didn't think would ever, put me to the test like that. But you never know. So again, communication, knowing what you're willing to, what you're looking for, what you're willing, and what I don't care what you know when you first get married. The person that you are when you're 25 is not the person you are at 35, and that is not the person you are at 55, and vice versa. So y'all might have been a perfectly matched couple when y'all got married. But he has grown and you have grown. And sometimes it's not always parallel. Sometimes you grow like this and it's a conscious effort to bring yourselves back together.
Right. And that's the point, though, is that you can grow back together. But you have to put effort in it. It's if you take the road of, okay, we're at irreconcilable differences now. It's time to do the paperwork. But you can also make a commitment to the episode we did on date night, which we replayed last week. That is,
and we're still getting great comments. I mean, I am surprised that somebody will say, it'll pop up. Somebody commented on your video, and I'm like, what video? And it'll be the date night video. It was really resonated with a lot of people. I was surprised that it's still being viewed and still being passed on even today.
That was the goodie last week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because that was the one that I thought, it was further on, and when we first started our show.
Yes,
and I thought, coming into Valentine's Day month, the month of love, so to speak.
I have to catch up on date night. I was out of town 2 weeks last month, and I think somebody had some date night tickets they want to cash in. There, I want to cash this in. Okay, but back to irreconcilable differences. Yeah, I think we've covered some good points. Sometimes you have to agree to disagree. Sometimes all the time it's good to, a shrewd person sees the storm coming and prepares for it. So go ahead, if you're getting into a relationship, as much as you can, prepare for how you're going to handle certain situations. There's no way you can see everything. No way you can see everything, but you can see some of them. And as far as Sharon's comment, I don't know which one of Sharon's comment you're talking about, Stacey.
She's talking about that infidelity does not necessarily always have to end the marriage.
And it doesn't.
And again, I said it's controversial, and it's up to you. You have to know yourself and you have to know your partner. I mean, if this is going to be, his lifestyle, then no, that's not a mistake. That's a lifestyle. Okay. But you have to weigh the information that you have about yourself as well as your partner and make that decision. I mean, that is what I would say as a clinician. Okay. I don't know that I would give that advice to my daughter-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But
My best friend. I mean, it just really depends on what the relationship is like. I mean, if you've got 10, 15 years of a good marriage and then some things happen, you kind of have to look at what does that mean and where do I need to go with that. I also don't believe that we need to stay together for the children, though.
Thank you.
If this is a rotten marriage and all the children is seeing is violence and they can have two healthy, happy, supportive parents in different places, I mean, yeah, why not give that best part of you to your child? And the best part of you is not seeing you constantly arguing with their parent, their other parent. I mean, I had so many clients would tell me, "Oh, the kids never saw us argue." Please, they heard it, they felt it, they sensed it, they experienced it. So no, don't. That's just not a. That's a cop out. That's a cop out. I mean, people can come up with all kind of reasons to do what they want to do or not do what they don't want to do. So it really. We're saying which statement, Stacey? I'm like, I said a whole lot right there.
That's something that resonated with her. But you're right. I've seen way too many unhappy people who say they're doing it for the children, but then only thing they're doing is making more unhappy people. And the unhappy people they're making are the little people. And then now they've got this broken relationship as an example to take into their adulthood. And it's just a vicious cycle. That somebody needs to break it. Somebody please break it. No, the best thing you can do for your children is to demonstrate how to be happy. Okay. Not how to sacrifice. Like, what are you teaching your daughter? Be the sacrificial lamb? No, don't do it. She needs a better example than that. She needs a strong, powerful mom who as an example of what's possible, not a broken, and I'm not saying that everybody stay together for the children are broken. I'm just saying that it creates more problems than it solves. I've not seen any situation where it created a better situation. It might be one out there, but I'd be willing to say it's the exception to the rule.
Well, this is one of the topics that's really brought out the mental health in me more so than usual, because I truly do know that we women look at men as real estate.
Uh-oh.
Let me explain, okay? You gotta go buy a house. Well, you know what? I needed 3 bedrooms, but it's a big yard, so I'll go ahead and I can deal with 2. Maybe I'll add on one of the closets are way too small, but I'll knock that wall out and put this there and everything. Oh, well, yeah, a bathroom would look great over here. Well, you know what? Men are not fixer-uppers.
Okay, I see where you're going with that. Good analogy.
You will know that this man has this issue and that issue, and this isn't going to fit in my life, but I can fix him. I will love him enough that he'll want to change for me and be this, that, and the other. And so we go into sometimes a relationship knowing that we don't have a good foundation here.
Yeah, unfortunately, sometimes those differences that we find irreconcilable later on were there from the beginning, but we thought they were fixable or tolerable.
Or we could change them. You only change. Now, I'm going to repeat this twice, maybe 3 times. You can only change yourself. One more time for those in the back. You can only change yourself.
This is true. This is true. This is true. Wow. Deep. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was. We can laugh. Okay. I'm constantly amazed at the topics that we can bring a little bit of humor to.
Some humor and some sound advice as well, though.
Yes, it is. Some sound advice. And I think the last bit of advice is this. SharenD generally comes from the clinical side of a topic. I generally come from the motherly wisdom side of a topic. And so if you have a situation that's going on, it's sometimes good to look at situations from both standpoints. Okay. And then you will find your truth in the middle somewhere. A little bit of the clinical, a little bit of the common, sense or side of it. And then you will be able to create what's best for you, because this is not a one size fit all. It's never going to be.
It's not only that, I'm speaking of what I've experienced in my practice and what I've experienced in my life, and with, umpteen people that come to me with, questions. But if you're having some serious issues, if you're having concerns, they don't have to be serious even. Seeking professional advice is what you need to do on a one-to-one basis or as a couple. Often I would suggest that if you go and get counseling first, and then if it's something that's a couple's issue, then you bring each other in. But don't look on a YouTube video, because this will be on our YouTube channel, and say, oh, I've got all the answers, because we're giving you just some simple facts of, this is the way it is, but that all sizes do not fit all. And some one-on-one professional advice never hurts from either a clinician or even your minister.
And if you have insurance, almost every insurance plan out there now has some form of benefits for counseling, for substance abuse counseling, for relationship counseling, for personal mental health and issues counseling. There is so much out there that's available. And sometimes we feel like we have to suffer in silence, or we have to take drastic measures to handle situations that are really getting to us, when there is some other solutions out there, which is why I said almost anything that you can, that could be bothering a relationship, there are avenues out there. There are places out there where you can get some help. So, and we will always here at Coast to Coast Beauty try to guide you toward getting some help if you need help. We are not here to be legal, emotional, mental, physical, medical, or any of those options. We're just here to be the voice of reason that says, get some help, get what you need, and hopefully point you into the right directions towards some of that.
Exactly. And but dropping just a couple more things, though, is that if you're having relationship issues, you need to leave your family out of it.
Yes. And I know that
girlfriends may not always be the helpful voice of reason either. So, and if you're wanting to save your relationship, you need to seek professional advice as opposed to Aunt Sally or your girlfriend that's down there at the club, got a new one every other week, because she, may not be the best relationship.
Even your ride or die girlfriend. I mean, the best thing she can tell you is to get some help. If she really is your girlfriend, she wants the best for you. Okay? It's not about what she thinks or what she wants. If she really wants the best for you, she's going to say that, girl, get the best help possible for you. That's what I would try to do for people, the women I care about. And that's what I would hope I would look for in a friend who would be that. Not that you can't talk about some things with them, but I'm going to tell you something. People say I'm the most secretive person I know, because I am a firm believer. Don't put your business in the street. But there's nothing wrong with, having a girlfriend you can talk to, but telling everything, that's another topic. Another topic.
It certainly is. It certainly is. Wow. This was deep, and hopefully it was helpful to somebody out there. If you have anyone in your life that you know might be able to benefit from this broadcast, go ahead and share it out. Well, share it out anyway, okay? We're trying to coast to coast beauty everybody. That's our goal. So yeah, share it out. Give us some comments and so forth. We have a huge replay viewers, and we just love them. We appreciate you. Drop us a little emoji or something. Let us know that you were here. And yes, we will get back and respond to you. And we appreciate everyone who was on with us this morning or this afternoon, where depending on which coast you're on. And as we started, this was a topic that was requested over and over. Over and over.
So the moral of the story is, if at first you don't get what you want, ask and ask again. We'll eventually cave.
Yes. Thank you for the hearts and the love and the thumbs up. We appreciate it. So it looks like, Lisa, we've come to another successful end of.
Yes. I can't believe how fast the time went.
Well, we're going on. We went over, but we knew we was going to go over on this one. Yes. So we're going to go ahead and kiss you guys out. Not yet, Lisa. We got to stop this one, and then we're going to go to the second one. And now. Oh, this you got to see how this thing will not stop on time.
Okay. I got lots and lots of kisses.
Okay. Come on. Okay. Next week, same time, same place.